And so Solomon said, to everything there is a season and a time for every purpose under heaven. It's a rather sober list. Time to be born, a time to die, a time for peace, a time for war, a time to embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. And I believe this is a time for you, for healing, for vitality, for strength. You're watching this because typically people want to get informed of what's going on and get a perspective. And I give them that perspective. And there's something a year ago that we began to realize, and that is that just at the moment when my army, I call them like the Wallnau warriors out there, the moment that the activist grassroots that's changing America and other countries starts to come into convergence, that's that unique intersection in the span of life, like a seed, like a wine that comes to its perfect fermentation, when your gifts, talents, and acquired skills converge with the call of God, and you're doing the thing you were born to do. And then I start getting the pray for me, I'm having this physical attack, that physical. And then the body, it's kind of a sad irony. Just when you're ready to run your race, your knee starts to go out. So we went into the healing arena, supernatural signs, wonders, miracles. We all are into that in the Pentecostal world. But man, I was seeing that happen. But then then I started looking at the health, lifestyle, wellness, alkaline water, inflammation, lifestyle, diet, nutrition. We started going with supplements. And I came into something that was probably the most powerful revelation. And that is that the same power that created you can recreate you. There's a regenerative power. Regeneration is a spiritual thing when you're born again, but physically, your body's stem cells is like the core manufacturing building blocks that build. And when they start to stop multiplying, you start to age. Then I heard testimony after testimony about this level 10 matrix therapy, and I had to get in on it myself. And I found more testimonies. And that's the reason why my guest is here today, back on our show. This is a man who works with mixed martial artists, jiu-jitsu arts, vets, deals with warriors. Kevin Lucas, glad to have you back.
Sir,
you heard me rambling on there in my opening discourse. Educate us on this concept of regenerative wellness, because it's a new idea, and I work with guys like you on purpose so that I could learn more,
right? So
that I could do a better job of communicating it.
Yeah.
But you're like a Yoda in this. Give me the analogy like a garden that could help my people understand this.
Yeah. So there's only so much that we can do when we're talking about getting ourselves better with diet and nutrition. That we need to have our diet and nutrition on pack to be at the best of ourselves. Exercise is a core component of that as well. But we can only exercise so much. I can only refine my diet so much. But if I can increase my body's ability to regenerate at the cellular level, that really is a key. So if I'm planting a garden, I have the sun and I need the fuel, the nutrition in the soil. But if I don't have the seed to signal that growth in the ground, nothing is going to come from that. The best nutrition in the world, the best sunlight in the world, the key is that cellular regeneration. And that's where increasing our body's ability to do that at the cellular level is what the body really needs to make those shifts and trajectory changes.
And so you don't plant a seed and get the harvest the next day. So help my folks to understand how this works.
That's right. So a lot of times in allopathic healthcare and medicine is that they give you a pill and your body is going to instantaneously have a chemical reaction. And so you take a pain pill and you don't have pain in 45 minutes. Regenerative therapy is a little different because it's focusing on the root and planting new roots to facilitating change. So I can have a client come into me and they say, Kevin, my knee hurts and this is what I want to get better. But 3, 4, 5 months down the road, we're seeing changes in their cardiovascular function. Their liver numbers are better than what they've been in decades. We're seeing changes in their blood work in huge capacity. capacities, or their ophthalmologist is having to write them a new prescription for their glasses because their eyes are working better. So
pick up your phone. Show. I mean, he's not kidding. Like I'm asking him earlier. I go, is that for real? I mean, and look at this.
This is one of my most favorite things, is that every day I get text messages from my clients about all of the things that their medical doctors told them could never, ever get better and were only going to get worse. Blood work, MRI scans, CT scans. And this is my day on a daily basis, is dozens of text messages of glory stories of God's medicine healing people. And it's just powerful beyond measure.
And people are saying, well, what are we talking about? We're talking about level 10 matrix, folks. This is where we have been going. You can actually get a hold of some information on this. Level10matrix.com. We've got a booklet you can download. You can call 1-800-361-2270. Or if you're on Instagram or Facebook watching this, don't interrupt it. Don't stop. Just put in the comments, Matrix, and we're going to get it to you. Along this line, I want to play this. Chelsea, would you play this Miriam and Philip video for me real quick so I can see this? I haven't seen any of these, and so I like to get a cold response to them. Let's see what these people have experienced.
I had had an injury to my knee. It had been hurting for weeks. I stepped into the shower one morning getting ready to go to the office, and something snapped in my knee and I went down. Went to the emergency room because it was excruciating pain. They took x-rays and said nothing was broken. We flew back to Florida the next day, and the week after that's when we came to the Health Summit in Miami. I was using a walker because I could hardly walk. It hurt so much. I was in so much pain. We had signed up for the stem cell therapy. We got our infusion around 3:30 in the afternoon. Went back into the meetings. I was sitting there. Roughly an hour and a half later, I'm just going, ooh, 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 what's going on? And my husband said, what? I said, I feel something. The next day, I was walking with a cane and not with a walker, and walking all over the place freely and easily. And I've been to the orthopedist who said, your knee is absolutely normal. No arthritis, nothing. Your knee is perfectly normal.
I did participate in it as well. A few aches and pains, and I've got a knee a little bit here and had a back pain here that I've had on certain occasions where it was like giving birth, but don't know that it was a kidney stone or not, but never saw the evidence. But that has definitely been modified. Any time when I've experienced that, that has been modified and been reduced. There are times I think maybe my eyesight has improved. Perhaps my hearing is improved. I do use hearing assistance.
But he's had to wear different glasses, and he's had to tone down the hearing aids.
Make the investment.
You're making the investment in yourself and in your loved ones.
It's never any investment that you put into yourself, whether it's education or whether it's regenerative therapy. It's a solid investment that you get to carry the rest of your life.
And what's interesting to me is that you don't have to be waiting until your knee goes out in the shower. I mean, the one thing I want to say is a lot of people no, the real point of this isn't like take action when you've been given up on medically. It's like be proactive because, for instance, I've been blessed and sustained by the Lord. I'm 67 years old. I did not have some of the same physical challenges as other people that I know have these testimonies. But what I would look for was my eye improvement. That did happen. It's weird. It's 80%, I think, of the people that we're looking at have optically something's going on. Something's going on. And then I noticed something. I noticed that the COVID period of time when everybody was talking about their brain fog and stuff, that after I took the therapy, I had increased clarity.
That's right.
Which to me is my most important tool, is my brain.
Amen.
And so whatever it's inflammation, whatever, but I was actually thinking clearer. I said, wait a second. I think there's a direct correlation. It's not the coffee I'm drinking, it's this. But most people don't know about this. Why is it that there's more awareness of this?
Well, the reality is rest of the world has been using regenerative therapy for the last 50 to 60 years. That's why if you followed any athletics or sports in the 80s and 90s, you would hear about these guys going overseas. They were going to Israel, they were going to Germany and France and Spain to get stem cell therapy, regenerative therapy, and we just weren't able to do it here until 2015. And 2015, we were able to help change the laws and the rules, allowing everybody to have access to this life-changing therapy.
Yeah, well, it's so funny because my wife was one who really drove me into this particular arena, because she's researching this stuff all the time. And a lot of women out there, listen, in an earlier broadcast, I realized we talked about the men and the warriors and the martial artists that have had the jiu-jitsu guys and the vets and how they've been healed. And then you brought up to me, it's the wives that deal with a lot of the trauma and stuff. So it's not just, warriors are not just the men. The wives experience their own version of the violence of the world that they're in, right? That stress produces physiologic consequences. So this verse here, by the way, is your favorite verse, Psalm 103. Why is that so prevalent to you?
You know, there's a couple of parts. Is that we're made to believe, especially in this country, that our keys to health and wellness are the people in the white coats. And we're told that, hey, unless they give you the exact right medication or you have the surgery, you're never going to get better. And it's not true. So, Psalms 103, 3-5 is he forgives all of my sins and heals all of my diseases. He redeems me from death and crowns me with love and tender mercies. He fills my life with good things. My youth is renewed like the eagles. And this is where regenerative therapy is renewing and restoring people's lives in such a profound way that most people think this is too good to be true until they see it and experience it for themselves.
Until they experience, and you can experience for yourself. I want you to contact level10matrix.com or call 1-800-361-2270. If you're on Instagram or Facebook, what are they going to put in there? Matrix. That's all you got to do is put in there. Well, when I think of that, you scrolling through all of these different testimonies of what's in of results you've got. I hesitate to say it because I don't know if I'm allowed to, but there's a really famous motivational trainer speaker that just is worldwide recognized, and he flew in on his plane to go to a hospital here in Dallas, and my wife ran into him, and he was going in to get the stem cell injection for an injury in his shoulder because he was working out and he had done damage to it. And that was what really I realized. If a guy was willing to fly in he couldn't get it where he was. He had to fly into Dallas to get it at a specific place, and the doc was there who was administrating it. It seems to me like this is a very powerful therapy that has results that some people know about. The people that are in the know about it. And I want to make sure that our people are now in the know about it. And you had said something in our last show that I think is worth repeating now, because I just want to repeat it over and over again. And it has to do with the bank account, this concept, so people can understand the context of this. Stem cells, when you're born, there's a certain ratio, like 1 in
10,000 when you're first born.
Right.
By the time you're 18, it drops tenfold to 1 in 100,000.
Right.
By the time you're 30, it's 1 in 250, and you hit that magic age of 50, and it's 1 in 400,000 cells as a stem cell. So it's not that there's anything wrong with you. You just don't have the bank account to stay caught up or catch up on some of the challenges that are happening until this time period. We now can just add more stem cells to your stem cell bank account or regenerative cells to your regenerative cell bank account, allowing your body to pick up where it left off 5, 10, 15 years ago.
And like a bank account, the cells go and they expend themselves where they have to go. I've got just a few minutes left in this. I want to play the testimony of sometimes, you want that last one. I know those people are real. And people go, well, I don't know. Is that for real? Well, here's one. I've got one on my producer, because the way that we work here is if we really believe in this, my whole staff ends up doing it.
That's
because it's just we're a community here. So I'm doing it, they're doing it. Chelsea, we asked Chelsea to tell us what's worked for her because she's like my wife. She's a practitioner and a researcher on everything we put on the program.
That's right.
She's either an advocate for, she's actually the gatekeeper, whether it gets on or not. Producers have that power. Well, we're going to do this week. And she arranged for this show. And I want you to see why.
I think people genuinely don't know what it means to be healthy. I didn't know what it actually meant to feel healthy and to feel good and to feel alive until recently. My name is Chelsea Hicks, and I have been blessed enough to receive level 10 matrix, and it has completely changed my life. So growing up, I was always sick. It always seemed like I had some kind of autoimmune disease, and doctors could never really figure out what it was. I was told many times I had arthritis, carpal tunnel. My hands would cramp really bad at the end of the day, like in my early 20s, where it was very difficult to use them. I was diagnosed with hypoglycemia in my early 20s, although I suspected I'd had it long before then. God finally brought an answer when I was 29, and we found out that I had food allergies in the form of celiac disease, which, if you don't know what that is, I can't eat wheat, anything touched by wheat. It essentially is an autoimmune disease. Allergic to corn, allergic to eggs, and we confirmed that I was lactose intolerant. I felt like a slave to food because I was afraid to eat anything. I just was looking for answers. I was like, God, there has to be a better way to live than this. After a while, I was introduced to level 10 matrix and started receiving therapy. I noticed over time that my food allergies were getting better. I suddenly wasn't afraid to go out to eat anymore. I wasn't afraid to go be with my friends. I wasn't afraid to eat my mom's food. I wasn't afraid to do these things. And last year, I even went on 30 trips because I'm not afraid to travel anymore. I'm not afraid of getting sick anymore when I eat things. Level 10 Matrix gave me a life. It gave me freedom. I don't feel like I'm a slave to food anymore. I don't feel like I'm a slave to illness. My body can actually heal itself and regenerate. This is the best thing that you could do for yourself because it gives your body the God-given tools to regenerate itself, which is what God created our bodies to do. He created our bodies to regenerate themselves. And so I just can't recommend this enough.
Thank you, Chelsea. Folks, I know that lady because you'll see her on the show. I frequently have her filling in if Mercedes is in here. I tell her to sit down. You're the producer today. But, you think about it. It's only the principle of sin that causes the deterioration of the body. Your body wasn't designed to die.
Right.
It happened in the biblical narrative. On the day that you eat thereof, you shall surely die. And they didn't die that day. They died 1,000 years later. But the reality is the principle of deterioration got locked in. The lifespan of Methuselah, 900 years, 800 years. Then boom, by reason of strength, God dropped it down to 120. Then boom, it's dropping down again. And your body wasn't designed to deteriorate. And so I think it's kind of interesting that we're living in a day right now where the Lord is revealing, well, let's just say the building blocks of how the human body was originally meant to probably regenerate and regenerate and regenerate. So instead of that, now that I'm looking at the chart you showed me,
right,
it never should have peaked and gone down, 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 down. It should have peaked, but perhaps continued. So your body's perpetually regenerating. And I think what we're doing here is that God's given us a wink and saying, I want you to have access to this because like I said in my opening comments, many of you are over 50, 60, you're in the prime time. This is game time. The last thing you want is to not be able to play the game.
That's right. When you've refined your time with the Lord and you're better at understanding the Lord's word, now your body starts breaking down and that prevents you from continuing to be a warrior for the kingdom. This is why regenerating your body and having your body functioning at its optimal is crucial to continuing to grow the church and saving souls.
So it's all connected.
Amen.
And you're a believer.
100%.
That's why he forgives all my sins and heals all my diseases. He redeems me from death, crowns me with love and tender mercies. He fills my life with good things. And my youth is renewed like the eagle. It seems to me this is a youth renewing therapy.
Amen to that.
You want to go to it's not Lance Wallnau. It's Level 10 Matrix. That's right. Level10matrix.com. Call 1-800-361-2270. Comment Matrix on Facebook and on Instagram. And when we're done, you could go look at some more of those testimonies, brother, that are coming in. You get them every day?
Every single day I wake up to, I tell people I pinch myself every day because you're not your diagnosis. Your body's primed for natural restoration and healing, and the rest of your life truly can be the best of your life. And getting people to believe that and know that truth is an amazing thing.
Your body is really designed. Like I said it, your body's designed to keep going. And I believe this is part of the available resource that God's given. For those of you that have tried everything else, and even if you're saying, well, I don't have any real problems, Lance, well, this is how you put the bank account. You build the bank account. All right, you're going to make that call, right? 800-361-2270. Get the booklet, get the information. My people perish for lack of knowledge, but not you, because you're taking action. We're going to be seeing you again at tomorrow's show. You don't want to miss it. We'll find out what Chelsea is focusing on tomorrow, because that's what I do. I follow what Chelsea programs, and I'm glad she programmed you, Kevin. God bless you.
Thank you so much.
And God bless you.
Did you enjoy this latest episode? Please remember to share it with your friends, because the more